And we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel with another funeral party. My name is Tony Vicenda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Typically, the last Friday of every single month, I get together with my good buddy Jert over at Exalted Funeral to talk about the latest and greatest things happening there. But it's back to school time, and so we delayed our 1-year anniversary to this Wednesday. So it's like a Friday, but on a Wednesday. We're happy we could bring you some Friday energy right in the middle of your week. Jert, how's it going today? How was your back to school?
My back to school was great. Wait, I didn't go back to school. No. I'm a huge Liverpool fan. Got the hat on, the tattoo on my arm. And today was really good if I'm, going back to school today because we just won at the last gas 90+8. I know you don't know what that means, Tony.
What does 90+8 mean?
That means after full time, there was 8 minutes of stoppage time. And the wonder kid, Fabio Carvalho, just scored a goal. I didn't get to see it. I have to watch the replay. But
I met Fabio at Gen Con. He's the guy who prints Italian RPGs, right?
Different one.
Plays soccer also. I'm very excited.
Different one.
I've gotten really into soccer lately, by which I mean I'm watching that new Ryan Reynolds.
Welcome to Wrexham.
Welcome to Wrexham documentary.
I'm excited to watch it. So I think I love all docos about the game.
I really enjoy things about soccer while never having watched soccer before. I also love a lot of people who love a lot of soccer. So I'm very excited about that. But yeah, back to school. What was your best subject when you were in school?
My best or favorite?
I think best and favorite are synonymous. Like, I don't care what your grades were. Who gives a shit, right? We're adults who haven't been in school for the longest time. What did you like?
Words.
Words.
I was really good at maths. Did a lot of really good maths, like in all those advanced maths and stuff like that. That they are all gone out of my head now. But the the words were my favorite. All of my favorite people growing up were librarians or English teachers, and I lucked out in senior year. We convinced our English instructor that it would be okay for us to do films instead of book reports.
Yeah. And
we would do them as groups. And so we did like Robin in the Hood, which was, our version of reading the Robin Hood tales. We did The Really Long Walk to Nowhere That Doesn't Really Go Anywhere at All, which was based off of, I believe, an Asimov's story. I mean, you're asking me shit from like 30 years ago, man.
I'm here for it. Yeah, I loved words. I liked words a lot. I liked science until I started having to write a lot of reports and not do as much just cool science knowledge experiment stuff. So most of me looking for a lab partner was like, look, if you don't want to do any science stuff, but you like to write, boy, do I have a deal for you.
Fair.
And so I loved reading though. I just didn't like writing. That was not my favorite part. More detailed writing of reports and stuff like that. I just didn't like it. I also didn't like to do homework. I invented 3 different classes in high school that didn't exist before or after I took them, because I didn't like the teachers of some classes, and so I would just convince them to give me credit to go spend time with another teacher doing like an independent study project, and then I would just cut class a lot too. That was one of my favorite other things, and so. If you're watching right now, we would love to hear from you, since we're in back to school season, what your favorite subject is, and what's one RPG book that should be required reading in high schools. Jert, what's one RPG book that you think should be required reading? I guess at any grade level. If you
the Rift's core book.
The Rift's at what level?
The Rift's core book. Oh, I mean, I read it in 10th grade. No, 9th grade. So we played a bunch of BX. I mean, I learned to play BX when I was like 7, but then we played that off and on. I had 2 younger brothers, so we didn't get to play a whole lot of it because they were bored. But we played the shit out of some Hero Quest. And then when I got to junior high, 6th grade, 7th grade, we played. My friend Pat ran 2E. It is AD&D mixed with 2E. But we would do like dumb shit, like throw in the Beck Me Immortals books, and then just fight gods and demons all the time. It was how it goes. But Rifts, when I discovered that in 9th grade, 10th grade, maybe I'd have to look at the years. And it was, Rifts is just that Splugor barge to be on the cover, like open it up to the middle, glitter boys, like Lee Line Walkers, like I don't know.
Love it. Meat Castle in chat already took one of my jokes, which was I think that GURPS could replace history, a lot of your science books. He said health also too, very very valid. Physics, GURPS literally written by rocket scientists. So if you're
not know that
into the the line editor for GURPS for the longest time was a literal rocket scientist. And so awesome. I'm a huge GURPS stan. This Sunday I'll be making GURPS characters live on Character Study, which is a new show we're doing here.
Nice.
On +1. So if you want to see the insanity that is GURPS characters and watch me try to make 3 characters in under an hour, come join us live. Keegan and Sarah and I are going to sit down and do that. But people didn't come here to hear that. Hear us talk about the latest and the greatest from Exalted Funeral. We're going to dive into that in just 1 second. Thank you everybody for the congrats on the anniversary. Stuart writes, as a teacher, they're biased, but media studies and history are the best subjects required reading are vampire and DCC, which is such a great combination.
I like that. I like that.
Aruk was really good at algebra. Also, Aruk, thanks for the sub. We really appreciate your support. And then 1,000-year-old vampire is what Sunrat says also too, which I think is great. 1,000-year vampire, I think, really good for both English/composition. As well as art, as well as just history, like whatever you write becomes the new history. I'm excited. Let's talk a little bit about what's on the way to Exalted Funeral. Let's check out the hearse. Look at us. Remember to be silent for that music. We did such a good job.
I think we get confused because usually we have a ghost guest on,
right?
And they're obviously not there for the public to see, but it's the other little picture in the video chat making faces at us and shit. So
awesome. We're gonna check out what's on the hearse. As soon as I because I apparently forgot to do this. Open up the giveaway. Hopefully it all works. I got a new phone and didn't transfer my Google authentication beforehand. So if this doesn't work, then we'll have to figure out something else. But theoretically, I just opened up a giveaway. If you type in ! But I'm not seeing it pop up. Maybe it's not connected anymore. So maybe type in ! F me. And we'll see if it does anything.
I just did it.
Did you see it? I don't see it on my side. Did it?
No, I typed in ! FME. Yeah, I don't think it's working.
It's not working. All right, we'll figure something else out in just a little while for our giveaways. We'll do some sort of numeric thing. But Jert, tell us a little bit about the cool new stuff that's showing up on the hearse at Exalted Funeral.
Which ones are we doing first, Tony?
Tell us a little bit about off the top. A thing that I was like, it's really interesting to see this project on Exalted, just because I've never seen y'all do a big 5e compatible project before. But that's Dr. Gordbortz. Am I pronouncing that right?
You got it.
I don't want to offend the good doctor.
We just call it Dr. G in house.
Dr. G's Science Adventure Violence. Tell us a little bit about this project.
Mm-hmm. So it is, as you mentioned. You confused me. You were talking to somebody else. It is. It's up on Kickstarter right now in partnership with Crowbar Creative. So Dr. Gordbort is a Weta Workshops property, and some of you probably know Weta Workshops. New Zealand company. They do a lot of really cool stuff. Sunrat says, listen to a great Dr. Gordbort audio. Dr. Gordbort audio. I got to run a little bit of it at Gen Con in the First Exposure Hall, sponsored by BackerKit. because I get to say sponsored by Microkit. Jason Fury, if you're watching, it's a quarter, it's 25 cents. That's super awesome, neat on 5th edition of the world's greatest role-playing game.
How dare you?
It's a rough thing to say. I mean, you know that Troika is the world's 2nd favorite, and that's the game that lives in my heart. We have a Troika mention in a second. That's up. Space, ray guns, and I heard there was something else that came out officially for 5e that dealt with space or something in the past week, but I don't know.
I'm not familiar. The only thing I will acknowledge that's Spelljammer adjacent is Richard Ruane's Enoch's Wake, because
what's Spelljammer?
It's what I heard. It's this thing where they have jammed a spell into a ship to go into space. I think that's where the name comes from. Also, welcome to our raiders from over at Roll for Felicity. Felicitations to y'all as well. Very glad to have you with us. We're talking about some of the cool stuff coming out from Exalted Funeral. Stick around. We're going to do a giveaway also too. It's going to be a speed round every single time we do it. We'll have some different things we're doing. But thanks for joining us, because our giveaway bot is not working because my Google authentication app didn't get transferred from my own phone, and I'm trying to figure out how to back-end hack into that, and I haven't figured it out yet. Otherwise, I'll have to just reset up everything, which will be a pain. Awesome. So we've got this going on right now. It's a cool partnership. If you're into 5e stuff, somebody asked, do you need the core books or is it a standalone product? My understanding is it's a standalone product. Is that correct?
Yep.
So if you don't own any of the other Dragon game stuff, you can pick it up as just a standalone thing. But science has replaced magic in this setting. So you've got not just translations on a one-to-ones, but kind of transliterations of what Gonzo science will do. What was it like running it at Gen Con? Did you have a good time?
Oh yeah, it was a pretty cool table. Family of 3, dad and 2 children, and the kids had mild familiarity with RPGs, but it was fairly new to them, and they enjoyed it immensely, and I had a good time. That hall was loud, but it was like loud in a good way. You know, it was back to us being like, you know, running games in public and in person. And I've done a couple more shows earlier this year, but it was good. It was a fun show.
Michael Welker over on YouTube is throwing out some D&D 1 challenges. No longer compatible. There's a new system now. And so good thing it's all standalone. It's all standalone, so you don't have to worry about compatibility issues. No, I love it. I'm super excited for it. It's a big, cool looking book. Tons of awesome art. People talked about the ray guns, other stuff like that. And yes, Planar Compass is an excellent and one of my favorite space fantasy things also too. Richard says Enoch's Wake is just a Planar Compass clone. And so cool. Let's talk about some of the other stuff. You've got a physical copy of this in front of you. Tell me a little bit about The Rot Beneath Winterbrook.
It just went live. Like the newsletter timed out and went live right before we started.
I refreshed it so that people could see the actual price, not the PDF price. Very cool. Tell us a little bit about this game.
It's a game.
Or this adventure.
It's an adventure. Yes, there we go. The tagline that I put in the it is Stuart. Stuart's like, hey, it's me. Stuart, tell everybody what it's about in the chat. No, I'm kidding. It's about with spoilers. Sorry if some of you are going to play it. If you are players, is anybody still a player out there? Everybody.
We're all just designers. Everyone's a player, and no one's a player.
You are blaspheming. Everyone's a designer. So it is a really neat city settlement. The thing I really liked about, and there's stuff. I mean, the title it says, it does what it says on the tin, The Rot Beneath Winterbrook, right? The thing I really, really like about it is I am a DM who loves just a little bit of generators. I don't like generators for generators' sake, because I can, if I'm going to do that, then I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to write the bits myself, you know? maybe back in the day I would, enjoy like rolling a bunch of dice and kind of doing out all that stuff. But it has this really great, quick little household generator. It's a D6, and it gives you a quick description. It gives you the inhabitants and a little bit of information and a quote, like an NPC is going to tell you about this. And then it actually tells you, again, I'm not trying to do like super spoilers, but it tells you what's happening in the settlement. Sorry. And then there's events and hooks. And then there's two, I'm not going to show you the picture, but there's two really, really, really great, like there's a couple of really gross monsters in it.
Well, I'll just throw this out. This is a piece of the text from the page I've got pulled up right here. The first order was the stew. The stew was made from the burned remains of the dead. It was gritty and awful, and served weekly to all and any that miss it had been shunned and attacked by the clergy. After a few weeks, everyone ate it, but nothing changed. So let's get a little bit of a sample of the text right there. Just normal stuff, normal stews, all kinds of good stuff. We've got Justin, one of the EF staff members who was watching on Facebook like a dork, but is now watching over on YouTube. Justin, good to have you.
I was about to be like, he just texted me. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh shit, funeral party." I was like, "Yep."
Awesome. So this just dropped, like while we were live. This just went up.
Yeah, like 10 minutes before.
You don't get a warmer corpse in the hearse than this one.
It's true.
Which is one of the things you can roll in the setting guide also too. It's not. Let's take a look next. This one I picked. It's not a new release, but it is new to the EF store in the last month, and that's Dragon Ma's Cave. Have you looked at Dragon Ma's Cave?
I have not. That was your ad.
It was my ad because every once in a while I see one of my friends' games new in the store. I'm like, I want to talk about it. And so Dragon Ma's Cave is by creator of a Planar Compass clone, Enoch Wake, Richard Ruane, also sub here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. The way of things has been broken. Journey to Dragon Ma Cave to restore what was. For many decades, the towns and valleys were guarded by the Olkana, a kindly young brass dragon who lives in the even older Dragon Ma Cave to the north. No one has seen any signs of her in months, and recently livestock and pets have been stolen. Travelers have gone missing, shrines have been desecrated, and even some of the wells have gone foul. You and your friends have traveled 3 days to Dragon Ma's Cave to see the elusive Olkana can help. It's a fantasy funnel adventure for 0 level play with new character options for classic editions of D&D or other OSR games, as well as 5th edition. It's a fun little adventure. Richard gave me a copy like a month or two ago. I've really enjoyed it. I haven't got a chance to get it to the table yet, but it's a really great thing to pick up if you're over on the store as something to just kind of round out your order, or to go there and get specifically. I love the way Richard writes. I'm always in awe of people who can just write an adventure. Like, I can run an adventure at the table, having thought of nothing in advance, but if you were like, sit down and write an adventure, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do that. And so I'm always very excited when I see one of my buddy's stuff. Let's talk. We're going to keep, you said you didn't like random generators, but I will say one of the other products you tossed out there is spirals.
Yeah. I didn't say I didn't dislike generators. I said I don't like generators for generators' sake.
Okay, that's
like for GM
clarification.
Back in the day, I loved like the LeBlanc books, the D30 companions and stuff like that. That stuff's like awesome and super and fun. But I think as I grew older, I just kind of. These days, I'm more like ready to drop something straight down in there. And if I'm going to do some generation, I'm going to do like a 3 fronts kind of riff, because I don't know, I'm simple, man. And every game I ever run is a cartoon. Just if anybody ever ends up playing a game with me and who hasn't, or it's one of 2 cartoons, and sometimes they're combined. It's usually G.I. Joe and Voltron.
Yeah.
So 100% opacity. So.
I think the other day I was channeling you. Somebody said, "What's the lowest prep game you know?" And I said, "Every game is low prep if you just riff off Scooby Doo plots."
Absolutely.
You just toss it in there, no one will know. no one will know, you know. So it just depends on the vibes you're going for. Pick your favorite Saturday morning cartoon and just go. But yeah, tell us a little bit about Spirals, which is a solo dice game for the brave.
Spirals, holding it up here. Woo! Short, cute little A6 8-pager, written by my pal Mark Conway at blark.itch.io.
How much is a Mark Conway?
Half work. What?
How much is a Mark
What?
Conway?
Dad joke. This show's over. It's fucking bullshit. Anyway, in Spirals, you get character creation on the front. All you need is D6s and a pencil. Like, that's it. So you got character creation on the front, and then right on the inside, you got some basic resolution rules. We've got some spells and some labyrinths. We've got treasure. We've got a really great picture. This was also laid out by Eric Hill, designer extraordinaire, who did a lot of work on the upcoming to be released very soon from Anodyne Printworks, Hull Breach. And Eric and I have collaborated. Funeral canceled. Yes. And then simple procedures for for generating your labyrinth. You've got monsters, you've got treasure, you've got traps, and then there's even a little sample dungeon. This is the kind of thing that, like, it's up there with Dungeon Goons, like the little pocket one from Gelatinous Cubism Press. This is the kind of stuff that goes. What is it? They're hiding over there. My friend Wayne did them. Wayne, sorry if you're listening. Don't kill me, Wayne Snyder.
But this is the kind of stuff I'm jealous that Exalted Funeral is printing and I'm not printing, because I just want to have 1 million of these. I want to sell 1 million of these. I want to go to conventions or go hang out with friends, have this in my back pocket, pop it out on the table, and kill time while I'm waiting in line, ignore my friends while I'm playing it because it's a solo game. But if it was a group game, just being able to pop this kind of stuff out, I love. Like, when you can do a short little 8-page A6 like game like this, I love them because they're great. Like, to give people, they're great to just carry around on you. They're fun. Like, one of my favorite things that Jarrett will do is just, like, when we're at stuff, because we were recently, he'll just throw like random booster packs of a trading card game at you and just want to play that game, whatever it is, even if it's just like a My Little Pony emulator. That's what's going to happen. But like things like this are just great to have in your back pocket for when you have some time to play. And I just really, really love that whole vibes. I'm very excited to pick up a copy of Spirals. It says PDF only. Is it supposed to be? There we go. All right, it's out. Also hot off the presses. Just released. I am very excited by all of it also too. We had a couple other things we wanted to talk about. Nothing specifically in the store. Two Kickstarters and one other project. I'm going to kick mine off first. If you have not yet, it's got 7 hours left on it. Go check out one of the last kind of closing out Zine Quest projects during the month. There are going to be some more that continue into early next month. Under the Autumn Strangely, which is a storytelling game of pastoral horror in a land that never was. It's very Over the Garden Wall inspired. It's by somebody who's new on our channel, Graham, but who's been around the RPG industry for a while, has some really cool stuff going out. Absolutely gorgeous cover. But the cool thing is not only the design, the concept of I'm an Over the Garden Wall sucker, but it's a 3-person RPG. There are 3 different roles that you can take, and each one kind of GM's one of the other ones. So you got this kind of cool rock, paper, scissors. This one's not an EF one. I'm just giving it a shout out because we love it. And we think you should go check it out once. This is not an EF project. All the other ones were. But we also wanted to talk about this one and then one other one, and that's Line of Inquiry, which is by our good friend Liam over at Toa Tabletop. Jerry, you want to talk a little bit about Line of Inquiry?
So it is a murder mystery. I was lucky, and I was editor on Hull Breach, and I got to edit Liam for the first time on some of the smaller pieces in there. There's just something, he understands procedurals like if like police procedurals or just
not
situational
procedures, but
by procedurals. And one of my favorite pieces from Hull Breach was one of Liam's, and he'd contacted me about a while back about doing Light of Inquiry, and it's exciting. It is mystery, and that is one thing that I'm not really super great at. Like, again, I admitted earlier, like I run cartoons, not really mysteries, and I know Scooby-Doo doesn't count. Those aren't really mysteries. So I do. It's one of the downfalls is I haven't looked at the manuscript yet. I'm waiting until like we're getting close. You know what I'm saying? Not doing things out of order, but it's. And I mean, also like Liam's just a fantastic human too, as is Eric, and as is Pencil Sword. So great team. Just super excited, and it also coincides with one of my favorite bands, Mountain Goats, released their new record Bleed Out a couple weeks ago, which is inspired by Italian giallo crime films and stuff like that. And I've actually been playing that record on repeat in my head for most of the last couple of weeks because it's that good. Shout out to a specific Goblin Archives who sent me the cassette copy, even though I don't really need it because they had the vinyl, but it was just like, you need it. You have it now. I'm like,
what are you going to listen to in your car, though? You can't listen to a vinyl in your car.
Debbie won't let me put a tape deck in the car. She said it's stupid. It's okay. I'm gonna get myself a beater pickup truck, like just the old rundown grubby thing. I'm gonna put an 8-track and cassettes in there. Be just fine. We'll be just fine.
Awesome. I'm super excited. So that's some of the things that we're most excited about recently. That's what's on the hearse. But let's talk about the obits, the dearly departed things that are about to go out of stock over at Exalted Funeral.
I didn't do this part, Tony.
Well, just can you look real quick?
Okay. I'll open Shopify.
All right. Anything? You just doing a really good job keeping everything in stock, or is there anything that's about to go out of stock?
Actually, a lot of stuff's pretty well in stock. I'm just looking at the first page here. We did have a momentary lapse in the Forbidden Psalm A Dead Festival. There was some printing errors. And those all got fixed up and sorted in, so those went back into stock today. We did, I'm sure some folks saw, we got some Vaults of Varn and some Frontier Scum from our friends at Games Omnivorous, and both of those blasted through.
I need to make sure I message Andre to get my comp copies before they are out of stock for them also too, because I may already be too late.
I started a draft order and we sold through them, so it's okay. It's okay. That's okay. I work for that. It's okay. It happens.
Onslaught Cowboy wants to point out that CU Space Cowboy, or Onslaught 6 wants to point out that CU Space Cowboy has 17 excellent copies left and 3 that are just kind of like,
Boom. There we go. Yeah.
We're just burning through it. We don't
actually.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say real quick, I did not because I forgot, because we were supposed to do the show last Friday, and I said, Justin, totally, I'll let the people know about Darkest Rock. Justin does work for Exalted Funeral, also has his own fabulous company, Severed Books, and currently, did you find it?
Darkest Rock RPG, right?
Yeah, here, I'll just...
I got it. I'm on it.
It's okay. I'm doing it anyway.
Okay, yeah, drop.
We're live.
Yeah, drop it. That link.
Anyway, Justin sent. I did. Justin sent me the fabulous dice, and they're not going to see because my camera doesn't do an autofocus. But they're this really killer yellow with some really great red spatter on them, and again, it just goes with the whole the summer of the murder mystery, the bleed out, and I know that. The module it's for Morkborg. It's not necessarily a murder mystery. But Justin, since I've got to know Justin in the past several months, my desk ends up with a lot of really cool things like a D6 with a fuck on the one. Oh, it's a family
Look,
show. Shit.
anything can be a murder mystery if you kill somebody before the
Right.
players show up and they don't
Yeah.
know who did it.
And I get like previews of the mimic dice, the mimic or not a mimic dice. So yeah.
Justin makes really cool stuff. I'm always super excited. The Caver series that's got some add-on stuff there. This is compatible with Forbidden Psalm. Also too, and just the dice and stuff. Anytime I pull out severed book dice at the table, people get super excited about everything. Look at this. All this cool stuff Justin keeps making. Awesome, cool. So we were going to catch up a little bit also too. You and I got to go to Gen Con. We got to see each other in person for the first time.
We did.
Jumped up, high-fived, gave each other a hug. So there's been a lot that's been going on over the last little bit. Cons have started to open back up a little bit. And look, if you're out there watching, you're like, I can't do cons yet. I don't think people should do cons yet. That's fine. We went to a con and we saw a lot of our favorite people, and that's on us. That's not on you. We don't need any feedback about it, but we did have a good time. And we do understand that people need to measure what risks they are taking, as well as what risks they might be creating for other people. All those things are fully understood. But I had a really good time. I got to hang out in the Possum Creek booth, sell some zines and other stuff like that. You got to wander around, so to run some Dr. Robot. What did you see at Gen Con that got you excited about the state of gaming over the next year, let's say? Like, what are some things that you saw there that either reignited some excitement that you had, or that you got excited to see come out or happen in the near future?
Well, JP just actually posted in the chat. It was a pleasure meeting you both there. And then also Meat Castle. I got to meet both of them. JP was really cool and gave me the entirety of the Flick Silver Pen series.
And it's real good.
Zines. I know, like they're on the stacks, but they're not stacks anymore. I bought bookends for the dresser by the bed. But I've been picking and choosing, jumping in and out of those a little bit. And then Meat Castle also passed me the Alm book. I don't know where it's at. I got a sneaky super preview home printed version of Tacticians of Alm. Meat, tell me if it's Tacticians of Alm, right?
Tacticians of Alm coming soon to a store near you, connected to one of the two people on the stream, and we will battle it out to see whose store it goes to.
I'm super excited about that because I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy Tactics and tactics like games and stuff like that. Yeah. So I got to meet Richard. I got also another sneak preview of my chivalric bromance, which is one of the best names. And shout out to Wendy if she's watching, because Richard said that Wendy was the inspiration for the rest of that.
Love it.
Sadly, only one or two. But yeah, I know. I was running around. I got to see all kinds of folks from Borg community. I got to see all kinds of folks from my DCC community. Got to run some Dogstorm. Got to run a half-ass game for Tony and Meat Castle, which lasted all of 5 minutes, and then we were just all exhausted, and my brain was not working. So we just sat and we opened cards. Oh, we got pounds of nothing in Dogstorm. Dogstorm. If people, some of you have received random packages in the mail from me with tiny little Dachshunds. Those are all inspired by Doug Kovacs and the ridiculosity that is Dogstorm, which is the best skirmish miniature games that a lot of people don't play. And the reason you haven't played them is because you got to go to a show, or you got to know one of us, and we'll give you the rules and stuff like that. It'll be published in a future issue of Hobonomicon. But yeah, it's a super fun, super rules light.
I love Gen Con. To me, is the first con I've ever been to and been like, this is too big. I enjoyed going, and I'm very excited to go again in the future, hopefully, as things get better and better for everybody. But it was the first time I ever went to a con, and they're like, this is too big. And the hard part about that is it's so big because all my friends go. and I want to go see all my friends. So that's why I'm going to keep on going back. But I think I'll be far more intentional about my time. Like this year, I was just trying to kind of float and take a lot of it in. I don't think you can get a Gen Con like that. I think you got to go in and be like, these are the things I want to do, and I'm intentionally planning to do these things. Otherwise, you'll just get overwhelmed by the amount of stuff going on. But it's a very, very good thing. One of my favorite things, though, was seeing Doug and the Hobonomicon crew playing DCC, throwing dinosaur miniatures across the room, watching multiple tables interact with each other. Like there was really, really cool to see some different culture pieces that you'll never see outside of a big con like that, because it's where a lot of people come together and gather. You get to see kind of cool new emergent things. Some of our friends from Magpie, other stuff like that. So I'm very excited. Hopefully in the future, as things get better, we'll have tables. Hopefully we'll see EF at more cons in the future also too. But it's just a really, really good time to connect with people like JP and other people. The best way to deal with Gen Con is to only hang out with your sworn enemies. 500 pounds is 100% right. It's the best way to do it. I agree.
That's why Tony and I spent a lot of time.
That's why we spent the entire time together. Innies are interesting. You are now one more innies, correct, Jarrett?
No, I did not.
I thought you got to go up for. I thought you got one of the things you touched had gotten.
Nope, not this year. Not this year. Not this year. The streak was broken. There were 5 years.
So you only have 20 innies. How many innies do you have?
10.
10. If you were going to take your innies, the innie awards, and you were going to fashion them into a different article of clothing to make it seem more acceptable to wear, what would you fashion you can melt them down, you can embed them, you can do whatever you want with them. What are you going to do with your innies if you were going to transfer them into another type of clothing?
Does a spear count, or like some sort of like crossbow bolt?
I love it. So you want to weaponize your innies?
Yeah. See, Richard's like, yeah.
I think a lot of people go armor. I'm glad you went weapon because otherwise people are just walking around with all this innie armor for no reason, rather than and there's no any weapons to defend against. And so, no, I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to it. Next month, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I'm very also excited. Next month, I'm going to get to see Jarrett in person again, because he's coming up to Philadelphia on the last Friday of the month. I don't think the plan is to do funeral party while he's here, unless Debbie says we're allowed to. It would be super fun to, but I don't know what
it would be pretty hilarious. I would be pretty hilarious. I would just can I sit in your chair and then you like sit on the laptop or the phone
somewhere else? Like I'll just call in and you can try to really the entire stream. But we got a lot of big giveaways. We've got one more project we're gonna talk about also too. And that's Metagorgus, because it's coming out soon. It's going to be in the EF stores. But you got your copy. But let's do some giveaways first.
Okay.
Tell me, what are some of the things we're giving away?
Wow. Roll a D something.
17. Chat, guess what dice I rolled? Guess what type of dice I rolled? Rolled a 17. What was it?
You rolled a D17 then.
I rolled a 17 on some kind of dice. What was it? We got D30. We got another D30. We got a D100. So whatever this is, JP's going to win it because he was the first person to say 100. You see how I did that? D24, also very good choice.
I think maybe so. I don't know. Okay, we'll go with a good one. From our friends over at Spearwitch. This is I actually when these were up for pre-order, I bought 4 copies. Jared is a very good friend of mine, but I bought 4 copies because this is one of the few loot gearing books, not a few, but it's one of the loot gearing books that I haven't worked on. And I was like super stoked. I was like, oh, all right, I get to see it like in its natural form. So it comes with a copy of the vanilla game that Jared Sinclair wrote, that you can only get by buying copies of The Isle. Words by Luke, edits by Jared, designed by Micah. It is it is a good one. JP, I think you will love this. So
JP, shoot Jared or I a message over on Discord. We'll get you squared away. And so, all right, we'll be a little bit better with this one. We'll fully announce what it is before we figure out how we're giving it away.
Okay. You want the next thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a copy of. Let's do print. We'll do two for this one. We'll do Print Weaver by Noah Morrison. A bit ago, Sam over on Goblin Mixtape did a review, and it caused us to sell out of those. So I ordered quite a few more. So we have quite a few more. And it'll go into ACD distros, so you can get it at your local shop. But check out Goblin Mixtape's review of this. I think it's a fantastic book, but also the review is really, really good too. And then I'm going to throw in from my pals Sid and Frankie, Twice Made, Once Forgotten. Sid was really awesome and cool, and we do sell these at EF store as well. But and Spear Witch, I think Jared sells them as well. Sid sent me extra copies, so my house is kind of a way station for extra stuff like right now. It's a good problem to have. So
right. I'm gonna roll 2d20. The first person to guess the number I rolled, the total of the numbers I rolled, is gonna win this one. All right. So go ahead, start typing them in. It's a number between 2 and 40. What is it? First person to get it is going to win both of these. The best thing is I could totally make this up and just pick a winner. But it also tests everybody's ability to not repeat numbers, which people pretty much immediately did.
Well, they might be doing it at the same time, though.
Somebody did. No. I've seen 27, 18 times at this point in time. Mikey B. Sit Frog Sit, 22 was the number. I'm a T-Rex. 22 right after that. So we're going to send Mikey something, but since I'm a T-Rex typed in at almost the exact same time, Jarrett, what are we going to give I'm a T-Rex?
How about, because this box is quite large here, how about, I got a copy of Red Solstice.
Red Solstice I'm very excited about.
Published by 500 Pounds of Nothing. And it's content. This is like all content. And this issue is dedicated to the Stella's gonna be so mad at me. Dedicated to the brave psionic warriors of Apoctli 5. Okay, just trust.
We doff our hat to them. Awesome. Yeah, Mikey, shoot me a message over on Twitter at +1EXP if you're there, on Discord if we're connected. There is good also. If you're not in any of those places, you can message me here on Twitch, but man, then I have to remember to check Twitch messages. It's way better if you message one of the other spots. Or if you're connected to Jarrett, you can message them directly instead. Real Meat Castle wants you to win the 500 pounds to win the dedication for the best gag, win an innie for the best gag dedication out there. All right. So we've got Amanda. I'm a T-Rex. Shoot me a message over on Discord. I'll get you squared away also too. All right. How many more giveaways do we got?
Oh, dude, we can keep going if you want.
We're gonna do one more.
The missing month. We had the missing month.
We're gonna do one more. Let's see. Let's not do something dice related. Everybody type in your best dedication for your RPG that you have yet to create. Jarrett and I I'm gonna read them out loud, and Jarrett's not gonna look at the chat. He's gonna just pick one that he likes the best. Best dedication you put in that you would put into your future RPG. I'm gonna read them out loud, and we're gonna Jarrett's gonna pick one randomly, and that person's gonna win a mega prize. We'll give people a couple minutes to type that in. Like I said, we'll figure out next month. We'll communicate out what exactly we're going to do, whether it's a live show on the final Friday or if we're going to go a week early or something like that. Been a lot of changes at +1. We got a lot of really great stuff going up in the shop tonight. But as always, we want you to head over to exaltedfuneral.com and check out all that great stuff. Like you saw, we saw some new stuff drop here while we were live on stream. I can't wait to go pick up a copy of Rot and Spirals, along with some other stuff that I need to go add onto my order and get that sent out to me. But let's see what we got. Onslaught 6, dedicated to all the people who said I couldn't. Oh, I'm not supposed to tell you who it was. Somebody says dedicated to all the people who said I couldn't do it. Somebody else says dedicated to my future ghost. Dedicated to all the cuties. To Thundar the Barbarian. Dedicated to vintage G.I. Joes. That person feels like they're digging right there. This book is dedicated to the real laborers of our time, the posters. This is my love letter to Warframe and solo/GMless gaming. It's very good. To the mushrooms that grow untrodden, may you overgrow the world. This is dedicated to the natural ones I love. Dedicated to the terrible roles this game causes. Dedicated to the 1985 Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears for the all-time best rendition of the Super Bowl Shuffle. Dedicated to Boys to Men. Dedicated to Ace Ventura, Laces Out Dan. Lol, I'm in it to win it. I think that was not a dedication, but a response to the person who I said trying to dig for favorites. Comedy dedication judgment is exactly what Exalted Funeral has always need. I don't think those last two were valid entries. Any of those stand out to you? I can repeat one if you kind of remember what it was about.
I hate Chicago because I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan. Grew up 7 miles south of there.
So not that one.
We're going with that one.
We're going with that
Super
one.
Bowl Shuffle. Who was it?
That is MXFC. Dedicated 1985 Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears for the all-time best rendition of the Super Bowl Shuffle.
I watched that video randomly sometimes on the YouTubes because I really just enjoy the sunglasses.
Okay, I actually realized I started the stream 5 minutes early, so we do have a couple more minutes. We're going to do one more giveaway after this one. I don't know what you won, MXFC. Same thing.
Okay, MXFC.
Go ahead.
Wins a copy. It's a bundle because they put it together. Bucket Bash because spooky season by our friends over at Disaster Tourism. This one just randomly, the Markdown Guide. Go and teach yourself how to type in Markdown and MXFC. Cool. If you don't have this, then you need to. Now you do, and if you do have it, send it on to somebody else. A copy of Luke Gehrig's and Redacted's Volume 2, Monsters and David Hoskins, also Luke Gehrig. Hey, David, if you're watching, Black Knights, which is a fantastic Rizzo. It's about these knights, suits of armor, essentially, for Troika, their backgrounds, and then there's a really cool dragon in there that you can drive around. And then a copy of Dead in the Water, which is it's currently blasting up the charts as far as the one of the more favorite introductory adventures for Mothership. So that's a good pile right there. So
okay, so we're gonna give away one more thing. But what I need everybody to do now is that's the dedication in the RPG, right? That's what's now I need to know what the RPG is, right? So what RPG is dedicated to the 1985 Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears for the all-time best rendition of the Super Bowl Shuffle. We're going to give away one game, the best game you got left. You're going to give it away. But while people are typing that in, you and I are going to talk about the last project that we forgot to talk about earlier, mostly my fault, and that's Metagorgus.
The Ruinous Palace.
The Ruinous Palace of Metagorgus, which we played here on Plus One EXP with Sean F. Smith and some other folks. It was me, Sam Amelli, and Sean. It was super enjoyable. The character combinations, like oftentimes happen in Troika that we picked, seemed goofy, and as we got into that venture, we're super good at unpacking some of the emotional context around it. I had a real blast playing it. But tell us a little bit about the Ruinous Palace of the Metagorgus.
So this was originally published digital only via In Search of Games several years ago. Which year specifically, Jared? I want to say 2016 or 17, and was talking with Evie about it, and we got it redone. You said Skullboy, Sam and Melly did all this fabulous art. The original creative team was myself. Evie wrote it, I edited it, and Sam did the art for it, and it came out in like a digital version. Really super cool. But it's always been one of these. It's one of the first ones of Evie's sad ventures. They really are. She just writes. She's one of my favorite people in the world, but one of my favorite authors. She's so good at putting emotion into RPG stuff. Like it's almost unheard of the way she does it. It just flows. So anyway, did a nice new fancy version of it with stats for Troika and stats for BX, and a version of D&D, whichever one you want. And then my favorite part of all these that Sam does are the Troika spheres. You can't really see it.
Move it over in front of your face so that people get a little bit better of a sense of the
move it in front of my face.
There we go. But yeah, the Fortle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this one was designed up by our new friend Cade. They did a fantastic job. Sam did great jobs with the splits, with the colors and stuff. This is one of the last few projects that I was working on before I moved from Smithsonian Arts Council. We're still friends. It's okay. But I've eagerly been waiting it. The real trick with it that I like about this is almost a sister volume to Fever Swamp, which was one of the first books I got to work on with Luke and CK. And there's just something to be said about how much you can pack into literally 29 pages, 32 counting covers. It's just super exciting.
I had a blast. We got to ask Evie a couple questions before this. Evie's reflections on writing this game are tremendous. They're publicly available, so you should just go over to Evie's at Feltnome over on Twitter. You should go read their reflections about writing this. But a lot of the questions that we had that I was able to send to her in advance because she couldn't be on stream with us but one of them was like, why Troika for a sad horror game, right? And you said because Troika lets horror breathe just enough. Characters are just sturdy enough to fuck up without immediately dying, and they can bounce and try again. The format of Troika handles whimsy well, which is difficult to do, but it isn't tied to it, which is a really good, was a really great reflection. And then we also wanted to know if you could have a picnic with any of the characters, who and why, and the answer was the sad zombies, because Eve feels like they really need somebody to go on a picnic with them. But it was tremendously kind of beautiful and enjoyable to do in the horrific way that only a sad adventure truly can be. So we asked people what to tell us what so go check it out if you haven't yet. It's arriving at backers. You can go order it from any number of places. It will be at EF soon as well. Aaron King joined us late and wanted to know if Skelly showed up to give me a kiss and tell me if we were going to prom yet. Skelly didn't show, so we don't know. I can only take that as a bad sign that I'm not going to prom this year with Skelly.
I got a new Skelly unicorn up there on the shelf, but
well, maybe if you send it to me or bring it on the 30th, then Skelly and I can reconcile, and maybe we'll go to prom. But who knows? So somebody, we got here's some titles. Don't look at the chat. I'll tell you them to you. You decide which one wins. If you haven't got them in yet, just keep on typing. Bear Society, Boy Bands the RPG. That's with the Boy Bands with a Z. The Sandlot the ttrpg. Halftime and Halflings, Fantasy Football the RPG. It's called The Bears, exclusively about the drunk guys talking about the Bears from that old Saturday Night Live sketch. OSR recreation of NFL Quarterback Club 96. Therapy the RPG. Ronnie James dips Rainbow in the Dark the RPG. How to become a ghost without really trying. Anyone have an invite to the +1 Discord? I can get. There's a link down below on. Ooh, there should be a link. Maybe I haven't updated that link. That may go to.
Oh, I thought that was going to be the one that I picked.
No. Does anybody? Well, I guess maybe Mikey is submitted again, but no. Anybody have an invite to the +1 Discord? It's obviously Our Minerva, a slice of life tabletop RPG about the athlete children of undead gods. I don't know anything about American sports teams. Ha ha ha. Popular Pigskin Playoffs Edition. It's actually a sports supplement for Honey Heist. The Bears are now stealing the Super Bowl. Mascot Shuffleboard. This is pretty. I think that was a response to something else. The book, I think, actually. Yeah.
That's the winner. That's the winner.
It's pretty.
It's pretty. That's the non sequitur. That's the da da.
That's Amanda. That's Amanda again. That's Amanda again. Amanda's a double prize winner then.
Okay.
Aaron King wants to know. Oh, it was a Super Herb Owl joke. Nobody did a Super Herb Owl joke. Aaron wants to know, what weird comics have you gotten recently?
We've been trying to have this guy know forever. Now we're doing it live. I actually caught up with Department of Truth this past weekend. There's a new mind management series out that Matt Kent's doing and Farrell Dalrymple's doing all the art for. Called Mind Management Bootleg, which is super solid. If you like mind management, it's good. Twig by Scotty Young. It's like really super fanciful, little blue furry guy. Like he's supposed to do a quest and he's late and he blows the quest and everything's also awful and bad. And then I got the big Borderlands Tiny Onion, James Tynion IV's collection of self-published stuff from the last year. This is a big old book, and I am waiting to get some time this possible weekend or next after to read through some of that. So horror comics are experiencing a renaissance, and I like it.
Awesome. I just dropped a link to the +1 Discord in the chat for anybody who wants to join us over there. If you're a fan, want to stay up to date on what we're doing, games that come out, conversations we have in community. It's a pretty chill server. We like to keep it that way, but there's good conversations there happening every day. Just remember to decide right away if you want to mute the P corner or not. It's an important choice coming right in the gate, and you got to make that choice quickly or get absorbed into it. But that's awesome. I'm very excited. Always good to sit down with you. I know that we did a little bit later today, so both of us have to pop off to go do a number of other things. But reach out to us if you won something. Yeah, I was set up for the prom. I don't really want to dwell on it. I was really hoping Skelly would show up at my door today with a bunch of dead flowers, and it's been a year. But you know, we'll see what happens. Because are you ready? Are you ready?
What?
Remember, alive or dead.
We'll see you
at the next funeral party. It got worse that time because you slowed down on purpose. I know all you want to do is sabotage us. Come back tomorrow if you love horror. We are going to be playing The Zone tomorrow night with Raph D'Amico and some other. Not tomorrow night. Friday night with Raph and some other amazing people coming live to Kickstarter near you soon. And we've got a 3-week series of Apocalypse Keys with Ray, the creator, that's coming to Evil Hat next week. So come back for all that, or join us next month for another great funeral party.